I want to tell you a story. A few months ago, I decided that I needed to do something about a problem that I had with my foot. I went to an orthopedic surgeon here at the referral of my primary care physician, Dr. Gladys Garcia. I went and saw Dr. Juan Fernandez and explained to him about how I've been having to walk on the side of my right foot for about the last 10 years or so. It seems like 10 years, maybe not quite that long, but anyway, I couldn't walk like a normal person where I can just walk with my heel to toe on with my right foot. Dr. Fernandez offered to do surgery to fix that problem for me. So I want to tell that experience about what I went through with getting this surgery done. And I'll tell you right after this.
Hey! Roger! Oh, Rocket Chick Roger! Hello there.
So Dr. Fernandez gave me a treatment plan. He told me what he was going to do. His suggestion, so just to kind of explain to you what I was going through, imagine this is my foot. This is my foot, and this is my big toe right here. And this joint right here, I had a problem with, okay? It was very arthritic. There's calcium stuff built up in between the joint. Literally could not bend the toe either way, up or down or side to side. Dr. Fernandez prescribed a treatment plan where he would go in, he would just make a little incision on the side of my toe, take that joint out, and completely replace it with a new joint that was made with a 3D printer, okay? So he drilled a rod up inside this part of my toe and a rod in this part down here, and then he put this ball joint type apparatus in there that would give me the ability to walk like a normal person after rehabilitation and healing. So he told me to go to the surgical center in Puerto Viejo. I had Juan Zambrano and Stella went with me. And by the way, this is about a year ago, October 19th as a matter of fact, so it was almost a year. Juan Zambrano drove me and Stella there. We had to do the surgery like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When we got to the surgical center, we went inside, sat down, checked in, sat down in a little lobby area outside where the operating room was, and Dr. Fernandez shows up, and he comes and sits down next to me. Now keep in mind, Dr. Fernandez is an orthopedic surgeon, okay? He's my surgeon that's going to do the surgery on my foot. He comes and sits down beside me on the bench, says he got all the stuff he needs. He had some boxes with him, and apparently my stuff for my toe was in those boxes. He asked me if I had any questions, and I said no. I said, let's do it and get it over with. And so he went inside, and a few minutes later he came back out and he got me. He took me into this room where the nurses did all the vitals on me, checked my blood pressure, temperature, all that kind of good stuff. Made me change my clothes. I had to put a hospital gown on and put me up on a gurney that I would be used to be wheeled into the surgical center for my operation. Dr. Fernandez literally wheeled me into the operating room and got me into position, helped me get over onto the operating table. And then the anesthesiologist came in who was going to give me a spinal tap. So Dr. Fernandez gets me and sits me up on the side of the operating table, and he puts his hands on my shoulders right here, and he pushes down. He said, just stay just like that, don't move. And of course the anesthesiologist is sticking this knife up in my spine. Felt like a knife. She's stabbing me with this needle, must have been about that long, probably about that big around, putting my lower half of my body to sleep. And Dr. Fernandez, the orthopedic surgeon, stood there and held me in place so I wouldn't move. And yeah, it hurt like hell because the first time she missed the spot, so she had to do it a second time. And he comforted me and helped me get through that little process, helped me lay down, put my pillows under my legs, and got me all set up for surgery. Before I know it, he's operating on my toe, and I wasn't even aware. Him and another surgeon. I think it took about 45 minutes, and then my only complaint about the whole process was the fact that it was freezing cold in this operating room. And Dr. Fernandez finally agreed to let the nurse bring me a blanket, and they brought me one of these space blankets, like a sheet of aluminum foil. A lot of good that did. Anyway, he showed me on the x-ray machine how he'd moved my toe around and said, look, you know, and all this stuff. And what was even more comical about this whole process was the fact that Stella came walking into the operating room with her cell phone, doing video, you know. And she took pictures and did video of Dr. Fernandez and this other doctor operating on my toe. So he finished up the operation, and he helped one of the nurses slide me off of the operating table over onto back on the gurney, took me out to the room where we originally came in. This was my recovery room now. And then Dr. Fernandez, he's laying over there on another bed, chit-chatting with Stella and Juan Zambrano, and I'm laying there, you know, dead from the waist down and waiting for my legs to wake up. Shortly after that, Dr. Fernandez disappeared, and I'd say probably 15, 20 minutes later, he came back, and he had all my prescription medicine that I was going to need to get through this recovery process. He went to the pharmacy. He went out, got in his vehicle, he drove to the pharmacy, bought the medicine out of his pocket, and then he came back and he started writing notes and telling me how I was going to take it, and, you know, got me through, you know, explained to me how I'm supposed to, you know, I'll get this right in a minute. He explained to me the treatment plan, or the prescription plan for the medicine that he went and bought himself. I had already asked Dr. Fernandez earlier in the day, I said, you know, I have not given this guy a dime, not a penny. And I asked him again that night, I said, aren't you going to want me to give you some money? And his answer was, I'll catch up with you later. The operation was like $3,400, $3,400. Dr. Fernandez had to do all the paperwork for the insurance company, and of course all the necessary paperwork for doing the surgery. And he did all of that while he's sitting there waiting for my dead legs to wake up. Finally, I started, you know, was able to move my feet around. And then Dr. Fernandez, my orthopedic surgeon, helps me put my pants on and helps me get my clothes on, helps me get into a wheelchair, wheels me out to the taxi, Juan Zambrano's taxi. And this is like 9 o'clock at night, it's already dark. And he helps me get in the taxi, literally picks me up and puts me in the front seat of that taxi. This is the surgeon that did all this for me. And then we go home. That was my process of getting my foot operated on. The surgeon, Dr. Fernandez, did everything. If it gets any simpler than that, I don't know how it could be. Think about healthcare in the United States. It's not healthcare, it's wealth care. If you want real healthcare, you can come to Ecuador. And if you need like a hip replacement or a knee replaced, or you need to be cleaned out, you break your arm. This is actually how I met Dr. Fernandez in the very beginning when I first came here. I broke my little toe, and that's how I met him. He helped me with that. He's the one that actually diagnosed, sent me for the x-ray and diagnosed, and then showed me the break in my little toe where I broke my little toe on a couch leg. But that's healthcare in Ecuador, folks. I just wanted you to hear that, okay? If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll leave all the contact information for Dr. Fernandez in the description down below, okay? If you plan to come here, even if you want to come here and get something done and not have to go through all the bureaucratic BS that you have to go through in the United States, come here and let Dr. Fernandez take care of it for you. And I'll tell you what, you'll be able to afford it. We did settle with the insurance company on my claim. They didn't pay as much as I wanted them to, but I'm still happy. You know, and at least today I can walk like a normal person. Okay? Thanks for watching. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. If you didn't like this video, bite me. And I say that with peace and love. I'll see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.